game that you've already discovered. All right, Nick's about to start some trouble. Okay, Nick's pretty high level. Did you notice that Nick just crouched and he became hidden? So that uses his stamina when he's crouched like that. And he gets a sneak shot in. And maybe you noticed that Nick changed his weapons with just the press of a button there and went to dual wield. Any character can use any weapon in this game. Your class does not affect that. You can use any armor. All right. Now let's see if Nick can find anything else new and interesting. You might see a netch here or two. Anybody remember netches? There will be plenty of killing later. We talked about discovery being a part of the game. When you discover new things, you get experience for that. You raise in power for your character. Nick's being restrained today. All right, and that's what we call a Mundus stone. So again, looking around the world, you'll find lots of different things. And in this case, he found something that'll give him a power that he'll keep for a long time. But you know, this game is called Elder Scrolls Online for a reason, and that's because you get to play with other people. So Nick's going to use something that we call looking for group. You might be familiar with something like this. And he's decided he wants to play with other people. And so he's going to try to find a group who's interested in doing the same thing he's going to want to do, which he wants to play a dungeon today called Fungal Grotto, which is an early level dungeon. So we'll see if he can find other people. Strangely enough, he did find other people. And here we are. Now, we talked about, as well, being able to travel to places you've already been. But what if you just want to get into the game really quickly and meet your group mates? Well, you can travel to one of your group mates or to a safe location near your group mates. And so here, Nick is traveled to a way shrine, which is the safest location near one of his group members. Because if you traveled right to them, they might be in a... Indeed. A troubling situation that they couldn't get out of. So I want to put you in a safe spot. All right, and Nick found a sky shard. If you collect 3 sky shards, you get a skill point. And if you get a skill point, you get to buy a new ability or morph an ability. All right, dungeon time? Okay, so in order for this to go a little quicker, I'm going to give you a little bit of the story here, which is there is a person in this dungeon who requests that your group help her to get to a certain location in the dungeon, but she's blocked by goblins and by what we call dreg. And so she suggested that there might be a way to kill goblins and recruit them to help you get to that location. Now we're going to pause for a little bit right after this. So what you may have noticed is that we want you to fight multiple creatures. We don't just want you fighting one creature in a dungeon. And that's why we've introduced what we call pack behavior, or monsters which will kind of wait in the wings to attack you versus all attacking at once. Now if you play all Leroy Jenkins style, and then you'll have a ton of monsters come in after you. But here you can see that if you control yourselves, you'll have a really good fight that you can manage, and it's a lot of fun to see these monsters come in after you. All right. I think the team did all right with that one. All right, and that loot is instanced to Nick, so you don't have to fight over loot when you get loot. There we go. So one of the other things is Nick is playing a class called a Templar. And you'll notice that Nick has adopted the role of using a bow or ranged damage. And the whole thing here is that Nick can change his role in an instant with a weapon switch and go to close damage. But the idea is that, again, those classes are just the starting point. They're not the ending point. You play the role you want to play. Now what you'll see is we have NPCs that are working together. We have healers in the background healing themselves. So these monsters really work together. If you see blue oil get spilled on the ground, that's an NPC spilling that blue oil. Another NPC can come up and light that on fire. And there we have some of that blue oil. So again, these monsters really work together against your party. Okay, so you saw we have a very clean interface. You'll notice what that monster did to Nick, the Goblin King, is it put an ability on him that Nick had to run away from his teammates, otherwise he would explode, and if he explodes, then it hurts his teammates as much. So we want to keep you active and looking in the world. Got a healer down. All right, but the group was able to do it. All right, so Plugi, who died, thankfully can come back. And so we have what we call soul gems in the game. And if you know soul gems, with us, this means you can actually resurrect your allies. So you can choose to do it, or if you have a soul gem and you die, you can resurrect on the spot. If you don't have a soul gem, then you can go back to the earlier start of the dungeon. But every time you die, there will be a penalty and your armor will degrade. All right. And now you can see the goblins are working with the group because you killed their king. All right. Goblins are pretty easy to win over like that. And you can see the goblins are working with them now. That's a lot of mud crabs. All right. And there we go. And that was just a taste of Elder Scrolls Online. So I want to thank you guys so much for coming out and taking a look. If you haven't already, please sign up for beta. You know, I know we always throw that out there, but seriously, please sign up. Also, we are due to release in spring of 2014 on the PC and Mac, Xbox One, and PlayStation 4. And thank you for coming out to see this next in the saga of Elder Scrolls and follow up to Skyrim. Thank you guys so much.